So this political fury between the left and the right, the devil plays both sides of the game, and it is not only Jews, rabbis, who desire to bring the world under dominion, but it's the spirit of Antichrist which exists among all people. There is endless, endless theorizing and conspiracy and just general fear over the way that the world is going. It's really not for Christians to engage in politics in this way. And it is exactly like when the Jews, the Zealots, were in competition with Rome, or at least were trying to. They wanted to destroy Rome, not that they ever would have, but they wanted Rome out of their affairs. And the devil makes work for these situations. The devil rules through fear and tyranny over the soul, but his method is by promising and giving a limited amount of freedom or liberty, so called, but the liberty is the freedom to sin for the most part. Anyone who rebels against the authorities is going to get themselves in trouble. And this is useful for Satan because the Christian debases himself when he does so, and he begins to lose his inheritance. His admission into heaven, and I'm not really saying that in a metaphorical way. That is literal, and the thing is, the tyranny, it's coming whether you like it or not, because along with the great falling away, the great apostasy, is a a spirit of whoredom, which I described before with the death of the masculine, but it's also a spirit of anarchy. It's a spirit of lawlessness, and the Antichrist, one of his many names, is the lawless one. And that doesn't mean law in the sense of law and order, but the law of heart, the law of God, the law of what's the best way to say it? Law of the heart, really, but it's like the ability to restrain oneself, the ability to have control over the mind and the body. If a person does not have control over the mind and the body, then they begin to indulge in the lawless acts of the world. So this can be all of the myriad of sins, like drunkenness and lust, fornication, greed, and so on. And this state of lawlessness cannot exist even for the devil for too long, because his dominion has to come with a degree of order. Now, the order is inverted from God, but it's order nonetheless. But chaos is useful in periods as well as order is useful in periods. So with the great falling away becomes a state of lawlessness, and that brings with it tyranny, because only tyranny can combat a state of lawlessness. God is he's no pushover, and he will discipline with the iron rod, or the flail, or whichever age you want to take this to, but he will never rule unjustly like the devil. The devil rules unjustly. In fact, he has no true jurisdiction, but he's carved it out for himself through being Prince of the Air. And so this tyranny is coming whether you like it or not. And the elite who serve Satan, because it's only through the works of evil that they have what they have, and so they have to commit evil to maintain it through deception, lies, murder, and so on. The more that you rebel, the worse that you will make it for yourself. Nobody likes to see injustice in the world, but at the same time, you're never going to save the world. You can only save yourself and the others in the world from their own damnation. Jesus was put on trial alongside Barabbas, who was a zealot and a murderer of Roman soldiers. And the Jewish people loved him for that, because they are a rebellious spirit. At least they were at the time and have been since. Um, but these times that we live in are no different. They're exactly the same times, and you cannot choose Barabbas over Jesus. But many are and will do that in their combating the state, in their combating the New World Order. But here's the thing: all things are done according to God's plan, even the bad that happens. Not that He wishes it to happen, but the the tares grow with the wheat, and you cannot uproot one without uprooting the other. And so all of this is according to a plan. It's not for men to uproot the tares and install their vision of a utopia. Let me tell you, anyone that does that becomes the evil. And there's plenty that do evil in the name of good and are gravely mistaken. There is so much choosing sides at the moment, being a so-called right winger Nazi or a left winger Nazi. See, the game is a hall of mirrors. You will never find the good guys in the war. You will never find it. You will search for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and never find it. This is why I say there's too many that mix religion with politics. There are many that are making contracts with the devil. Many who seek after revenge and worldly glory, and many who wish to see others die for their cause. That goes for Jew and Gentile. Who do you think that you are?